Hey folks, welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to tell you more than you ever wanted to know about my circular saw collection. First up, this guy. This was a gag gift from Dad about 15 years ago. At the time, I had just graduated from college. I had a job in the tech industry, and I thought it was a little silly he'd get me this because I was living in an apartment. But to his credit, this thing has paid the bills when my coding skills haven't. So it's big, it's powerful, it's loud, it's unwieldy, but yeah, it's a real workhorse. I don't think I use it very often except when I'm demoing anymore. So yeah, that's number one on the list. And number two on the list is this guy. It is the cordless version of that saw. I've never really liked it that much. It's always felt underpowered. It will freeze if it feels like it's bogged down. Once you put two batteries on it, it's remarkably heavy. The safety mechanism is this little double trigger thing, right? You push that down with your thumb and then you pull the regular trigger up. That's always really awkward when you're trying to make a cut because just the ergonomics of it. The motor died on it 2 years in, and so I haven't used it at all since. I just kept it around thinking maybe someday I'll fix it. So everything that was wrong with that saw, I fixed with this saw. It's got plenty of power. It is about the same weight, but for whatever reason, it feels like a feature on this saw rather than a bug. The safety mechanism is just this push button, so you just tap it in with the side of your hand or your thumb, and it seems to work a lot better. The other feature of this saw is that it's rear handle. Notice how the handle where you push went from here to back here, and that just makes it a lot more accurate because your movements with your hand are minimized, so you can really dial it in. It's got a rafter hook for hanging on 2x4s or rafters if you're on the job site. Really like this saw. It served me well. And then I bought this one, which takes one battery instead of two. It was on sale during Black Friday. It's a toy. I really just use it when I'm at the store and I need to break a 16-foot long board into, say, a 10-foot board so I can fit it in my truck. Yeah, really not very powerful, but doesn't hurt to have more. And then this is where the fun really begins. This is called a track saw. Similar concept, but it is really good at accuracy. Those other ones are light and portable. This thing is kind of portable, but really good at getting things pixel perfect. They come with these aluminum tracks that you set down on your workpiece exactly to where your line is. And then the saw itself has this plungeable base thing that sits right there in the track, and it takes all the human error out of getting a perfectly straight, accurate line. You can accessorize the stuffing out of these tracks. There's all sorts of little gizmos and gadgets that make it repeatable, more accurate. So I have a lot of fun with this saw. And then we have this guy. And to understand what's unique and exciting about this guy, you have to understand a bit about the minutia of some of the materials that I work with. So this is called melamine. It is used a lot in household interiors. It's pressed together sawdust with some sort of plastic covering on the surface. It's really cheap. You can find it everywhere, but it accentuates an issue that is prevalent in all materials, but most obvious in this one, and that's chip out. So you can see on this side, and I'll see if I can't get a close up for you. This side there are these jagged edges, and that's called chip out. And that happens when the circular saw blade comes through the material, and as it's punching through, there's nothing supporting these fibers, so they just kind of chip away and break off in a non-uniform way, which leaves this really unsightly jagged edge. This saw fixes that problem. You can see on this side, there's plenty of, there's no chip out. It looks like it was cut with a laser. And the way we achieve that is through this unit here. And this is a second blade. So this saw has two blades, two motors. The one on the front is called a scoring blade that spins this way, and that just scratches the surface, gets a really nice crisp edge because those fibers are supported by the ones underneath it, and then this comes the opposite way and cuts through the material. So it's with that two blade system that you can get really crispy, nice, pixel perfect edges that look great when you zoom in at 400%. Love this saw. It has plenty of power. It is corded, but turns out you need a cord when you're going to power two motors at once. Really precise, never leaves my shop. I can cut through 2 inches of walnut with it if I wanted to, so love this one. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in, and on next week's episode, why I need 12 power drills.